Good morning. My name is Amanda. So excited to be here. God is just so good, and I'm so excited for this opportunity to be able to speak in front of you guys and share a little bit about my testimony. See, all my life, I can remember God really being a part of it. I came from two separate homes. On one side was a very strict, religious, kind of nutty father, and the other side was a very free, no rules, nutty mother. So going back and forth, I dipped my toe into Jesus' side, and then I came home to be called a Bible thumper. It was kind of back and forth. But, I did try to get sold out for Jesus. I went to church. I went to youth group. I was excited. I was bringing people, and I went to a youth trip, and my youth pastor, he molested me. And it shook me. Not only did it shake me, but I went to the church because I didn't want this to happen to anyone else. But the church, they called me a liar. They said I was making it up. They said, well, maybe you just misunderstood what was happening. And from that point, I wanted nothing to do with God. I wanted nothing to do with church. I rebelled as much as I could possibly rebel. If there was a rule, I would find it to break that rule. And, I lived a hard life growing up as a teenager. I would lie, steal, cheat. I think I lost my virginity at 14 years old, and I ended up pregnant at 17 years old. I thought, well, God can't love me now. I'm this huge sinner, and there's no hope. There's no nothing left for me. But, he brought me back. I got married. I started going back to church. I started believing in God. I started becoming faithful and a good wife, and I had my son, and I found out my husband was having an affair. And it just shook me again, like, God, how could you let this happen? How could this happen to me? And not only that, I was pregnant again. So here I was, 22, 3 babies, going through the worst divorce I could possibly go through. And, I got through it. I met my best friend, and I got remarried again, and he asked my dad for his my hand in marriage. He said, one thing, you have to get my daughter back in church. We tried to go. I went. I kind of got involved, but I just never felt like I belonged, that I could be in this church, because I just wasn't perfect all the time. I wasn't a perfect wife. I wasn't a perfect mother. And, God can't love me if I'm not perfect. And we dived in. We got connected. We went to Stonehill. We started meeting people. Life was good. Our family was good. And I get a phone call that my ex-husband and his now wife died in a plane crash. Like, God, how can you allow this to happen to my children? How can my children ever believe in you when you would allow this heartache and this pain to happen? But he stepped up. He was there. He carried us through that tragedy, and more tragedy happened. Tragedy after tragedy. My mom tried to kill herself a few times. My best friend and cousin, she died from a drug overdose. Like, if I could write a country song, I'd have all the lyrics for this country song. But I just kept thinking, like, okay, if I just believe in God and I don't really push in and I don't really believe in him that much, then maybe these bad things will stop happening to me. But then I realized that it's through God that got us through these tragedies. He's the one that carried me through this storm. He's the one that was there those entire times, through all the trials, through all the tribulations. He was there carrying us through. And my children, they do believe in him. They love him. They worship right beside me with all their heart. And they have gotten through this pain and this suffrage through God. And it's an incredible story. It's an incredible journey that we're still on. And I realized I'm far from perfect. I still sin, and I still bring it to God, but I love him with all my heart. And I give it up to him every day that I can, and he'll meet you where you are. And that's where I am right now. And I thank him, and he's an amazing, amazing Lord. And I just love to be here. Thank you so much.